Hello, and you are listening to Maximum PewPew live at Charcon 2019. Maximum PewPew is an actual play role-playing game podcast, and today we are going to be playing Things from the Flood, an adventure from Freely's companion book called Out of Time. This adventure is called Waterfalls. Today I'm here with two familiar faces, as well as, probably three, because we've had one that's done some of our Jewel of the South stuff, and one new face. Welcome to the table, Kayla.
Yeah, it's really nerve-wracking.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So today we're going to be doing a quick one-off from the Out of Time book called Waterfalls, and we're going to jump right into it. If you are interested in more of content like this, you can listen to us on the Maximum PewPew podcast on your favorite syndicator. We're also on Facebook and Twitter if you're inclined to do the social media route. So let us get into it. The year is 1990X, somewhere in the mid to late 90s, we'll say.
Sure is.
In Princeton, West Virginia. There are the camera is going to pan over to one of our characters, Hunter. Hunter, tell me about your morning routine and kind of introduce everyone to your character.
So, like, every morning I wake up, I smoke a cigarette out the window. I then brush my teeth, because who does it in the reverse order? That's gross, right? But it doesn't help, because then I smoke cigarettes on the way to school with my foster sister, and we all walk into school together, and they all go to their respective classes, and I keep walking and just head straight out the back door and, do my thing for the rest of the day.
So what's your pack-a-day habit like right now?
My pack-a-day habit? I mean, I got a pretty good, reliable source of cigarettes right now, and I, just under a pack, just over a pack, somewhere in that range, depending on what else is going on, how stressed I am.
You're getting them in pretty frequently in spite of the fact that you're in school when it's forbidden.
I mean, at school, air quotes.
Yeah. on the property.
Yeah.
So as you're everyone's making their diversion to the classrooms, you kind of piece out one of the emergency exits to grab you a quick cig break. The camera pans over to Ash. Ash, tell me about your morning life.
Well, Ash is fairly conventional. He's the morning life is parents live in the suburbs, and so he probably gets ready, comes downstairs. Mom, walk down. You can tell that the parents have been fighting and shut up whenever I get in the room. And Dad's got the newspaper classifieds with like a bunch of potential jobs circled. And
attention, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen. The second showing of Superpower Dogs is about to kick off in the Caperton Planetarium and Theater in about 10 minutes at 1 o'clock. If you have your tickets, you can begin proceeding towards the theater, or if you'd like to purchase tickets, come by the box office. They're $3 for members, or a small fee.
And in about 25 years, I'm going to hate that announcer.
Parents have the TV ads on like way too loud.
The eggs are a little bit burnt on the side because you can tell that she got distracted while they were fighting. So I'm going to just be quiet, eat breakfast, and grab my stuff and head off to school, making sure to grab the laptop bag, which is one of those like big 90s style laptop bags with like an extra pouch on the side for the homemade robot.
Tristan, camera pans over to you. Tell us about your morning life.
Okay, so I wake up by myself, as I have been for the last several years, make myself breakfast, get myself ready. After I've gotten all that taken care of, I make my way out to my front yard and await my friend Willow to come and pick me up for school, as she has done so for the last year or so.
Okay. And then Willow, camera pans to you.
So Willow will definitely be spending her morning trying to brush out her really curly hair. It's always curly. It gets worse with the humid. But she usually ties it back with either a bandana she has from like one of her hanging out with some of her hippie friends, or hanging out with her group of friends that she just randomly have. Sorry. But yeah, after she'll brush her hair, tie it back with one of her headbands, she'll go downstairs, throw on one of her favorite shawls, grab her satchel, and then she'll make sure her foster brother is ready, and he's well situated with his cigarettes.
He's always ready.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh gosh. And then they'll make their way out of the house, saying goodbye to their foster parents and all their other foster kids that are in the house. I would say there's at least 5 of them probably. And then we'll go pick up Tristan, go to school, and she'll go to her respective class and try to avoid all the other hippies in the school. Because they're not about the life she's about.
Are they fake?
Yeah, they're fake.
They're fake.
Oh my
Yeah, they're like the really cliche fake
yeah.
hippies.
Have we achieved hippie hipsters?
Yeah, that means they're not wearing enough hemp.
Well,
Yeah.
let's be real here.
They're
To them,
American
you're the
Eagle
fake one.
hippies.
Uh-huh.
That is true.
They
yeah.
have the domestic patchouli instead of the imported.
They're all about that drug life.
So you all make it to school. You make it to your classes or not. And,
I mean, I make it to a class eventually, just definitely not the first one.
okay.
You make it to gym.
You make it through. Oh
That's
yeah.
right. 'Cause
Well,
we go
and-
outside and it's easy to sneak off, smoke a cigarette,
Right.
and get credit for it at the same time.
Yep. So gym's a pretty easy one to get there. So you go through first and second blocks at your respective classes, and nothing really interesting happens until your lunch block kind of comes by. So everybody gets their food. I imagine you all have a special table that the 4 of you and maybe some other ancillary friends kind of sit with you at, maybe over near the corner somewhere where there's not a lot of traffic.
The leftover table where all the people with no click end up.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
The outcast table.
So you'll end up there. You may have quite a few like freshmen kind of come and go too as they sort of try to find their way with life.
That's fine.
Don't sit there. You'll never have friends.
Yeah. Princeton Senior High School is kind of a feeder school for 2 different middle schools. So you have this issue where like not everyone knows each other coming into the freshman year. So like a third of them come from Glenwood, 2/3 come from like Princeton Middle, because that's just how that works. So there's a lot of like meeting new friends, and there is kind of an opportunity to kind of create a new beginning for yourself. And some of them, you're sort of a welcoming table because it's empty and it's someplace to sit, and you all have probably been there at some point in your
Yeah.
life, so you're kind of accepting of them. One of the people that usually sits down at your table is a sophomore by the name of Dusty Williams. And some of you may have noticed that he's been out of school for a few days. And when he comes to sit at your table, he's having some issues with his lunch tray because his left hand is bandaged heavily. He sits down. He has the tray kind of clatters real loud a little bit, just a little bit harder than what you would normally do. You almost think that he's mad until you look at his hand and realize, like, oh, okay. So he's like, hey, how's everyone doing?
Hey there,
Yeah, how's it going?
Dusty. What'd you do? Punch a locker? Done that before.
You're a really good
Uh,
influence, you know that.
He kind of like rubs it a little bit, and you can tell that like there's just still a little bit of blood like kind of coming through the bandages.
Ooh, fresh.
Oh my God. Are you okay?
No, I'm not.
What happened?
Do you need a nurse? Or
No,
maybe a
I've been at the hospital. I just need to change the bandages here again. It's just doctor said not to use my hand that much, but like it's school. Like I can't not use my hand.
Well, maybe you should at least try. Do you want me to help you change the bandage?
Make me I want you to make me a charm roll. And it's going to be normal difficulty. So you're going to take whatever your charm is, and you're going to add your heart.
Okay.
And this is going to be a normal difficulty because you're kind of like a matronly roll. So you're just going to be looking for a single 6 here. Nothing?
No.
Okay. So if you want to, you could push the roll. Otherwise, he's just not going to let you change the bandage.
I'll push it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what type of condition would you like to mark?
I would do probably scared, because I'm scared, like, his hand, it's really bleeding.
Right.
And it's, like, definitely coming through the bandage, and I'm scared for him.
Yeah,
So I
he,
wanna, like,
he
take
needs
it
some
off.
help, and you want to be able to help him out a little bit.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So you can roll all of your filled dice.
She's echoing and trying to figure out why. Yeah, no, maybe. I mean, I think just based on this one, he's going to help a lot in general.
I got 2 6s.
Okay. If you could scoot your body so that you're facing like that light a little bit, and so that and then tilt the microphone so that it is also. Okay, yeah, that'll help there. So you got 2 successes. So not only do you succeed, you can actually get a bonus effect, and you get to choose between these. So just you can either he keeps believing you. You formed a lasting relationship with Dusty. Dusty will take risks to help you. Dusty will try to persuade others to believe you. Dusty's frightened, confused, or impressed, or Dustin's infatuated.
I think the helpful one would be the best one to go with.
Okay, so you want Dustin to just be able to take risks to help you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you show a lot of empathy. Maybe the eyes get a little teary, like, please let me help you. And he decides that, you genuinely want to help. So he's like, yeah, sure. You want to go to like a bathroom or the band room or something like that and take a look at it, or?
Yeah, we can go to the band room.
Okay.
Do you mind if all my friends come along just in case?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Alright.
So you all
Wait, where are you going?
The band room. Yeah, the band
I'm like
production.
shoving my laptop back in my bag and putting the cords back.
Just. All right, man. Just we don't have a hall pass.
It's lunch, so I mean the band room is actually really close to like the restrooms near the cafeteria. So I mean there's going to be traffic through there. It's not going to
I
be
mean,
like
it's good. I don't. Who needs a hall pass? Whoever actually gets a hall pass.
Those are for punks.
So you make your way to the band room, and it's currently devoid of people right now, and it's pretty private. So you all grab some chairs, and he begins to reluctantly unbandage his hand. And as he does, you will notice that 3 of his fingers are gone at the first joint.
Oh, sick.
Oh,
What happened to your hand, Dusty?
it looks like a mowing accident.
I
That locker didn't stand a chance.
What kind of locker takes your fingers off?
A carnivorous one?
No, would you believe me if I told you there's something living in my apartment complex, and it did this to me? And no one believes me because I live in Princeton Towers, and everyone thinks that, I'm just some druggie's kid, and I'm probably high on something too, and nobody wants to believe me because where it happens, but I swear there's like some type of monster there.
Like a dog?
No, like
Is this like a Frankenstein thing where the monster was us all along?
What?
you.
What are you talking about?
Dusty has decided to ignore everybody but Willow at this juncture, and seeing as how
What did it look like? Can you
It
give a
was-
description?
it was tall, it had almost like I don't know, like dreadlocks, but like made of wires, and it made these like real loud screeching noises, and I heard a noise outside the apartment, and Dad was drunk, and I knew he wasn't going to do anything about it, so I looked outside, and there's just this thing out in the hallway, and as soon as it saw me, it rushed me down, and I tried to stop it, and it just like took a swipe at me, and like I got back in the room as quick as I could and closed the door, and like I was bleeding all over, and Dad got like real mad, and and then, went to the hospital to get it fixed up, and
He got mad
like-
because your fingers got cut off?
there's blood and everything. He didn't realize what was going on. Like, it just, like, he heard loud noise. It woke him up. I'm bleeding everywhere. He thought it was my fault, and
This thing had dreadlocks made of wires. And
it's
stuff.
like,
Was it like a robot?
like- I mean, it seemed like some type of machine or something. Like, it all happened so quick, but that was like just this nest of wires and stuff in the hair. Like,
So you got attacked by a Rasta Johnny 5?
I don't even know what the hell that is.
It's like an old movie, right?
Disassemble. No disassemble.
I don't know. Like, I don't watch many movies. We don't have a TV.
No, we should. We should go see what this is. I mean, this sounds.
Yeah, I agree with Ash. If it's attacking you, it could be attacking other people, and that's just not okay.
Right,
Not
that
cool,
too.
bro.
That
Wait,
need to
what do you
educate.
mean that too? Like, I feel we should go investigate this, but also it cut off someone's fingers. Like, do we have a good plan other than, like, go look and try not to get our fingers cut off?
I mean,
That's your
that's
plan,
good.
Ray?
That's
I
not a
mean,
plan.
We can come up with a plan. It's, all of us put our heads together. I'm pretty sure we can come up with anything.
No, but I mean, if it's a machine, we can probably deal with it. I
Do-
mean,
How are you defining dealing with it?
no,
'Cause I have my own
I
ideas
like pull
about
out my
finger
robot. You guys
chopping.
have all seen this over and over. This thing is made from like found parts from like 4 different industrial robots.
Right.
Like,
your
no,
your
we
little
can-
RC thing.
It's not an RC thing. It's not like a Radio Shack car that. Anyways, we can see what it is. It could be just like a druggie with a bad hairdo or something. They got caught.
Or it could be a really fancy RC car. That's
We're
cuts
gonna-
off fingers.
We're definitely,
That's a pretty hardcore RC car.
yeah.
Yes.
No, but
Yes, it
serious.
would have to be.
Like if it's doing this to him,
Think about what it do to anybody else that is living there, and it won't be until somebody gets really hurt that somebody will eventually go and investigate it.
All
I
right.
don't know if that counts.
So let's go.
That's really hurt right there.
Here's what we're going to do, right? We're going to go to the gym. We're going to grab some of the metal bats. We're going to take that tire iron out your car. And then we're going to go Rastafari short circuit hunting.
Well, I'm against violence, but I will.
Right. I think
I'll
I
defend
think,
myself.
I think our friend over here is also against violence via the missing 3 fingers.
Well, we'll definitely look into it, Dusty. Just give us your address, and you guys want to do it after school today or later?
It's Princeton Towers. It's
yeah,
like
we know where to get.
we're on the
Okay.
8th floor.
That
I
would be
think we
awful.
should
There's
finish
like
the
this
school
new game
day.
out that, and
Yeah.
you,
Or something like that, I guess. I
I
don't
couldn't
know.
imagine.
You're not going to finish school anyways. I know how you are.
I mean, we could go right now.
So let's say instead of going right now, it seems like you've got 2 blocks of school that you could kind of work with before you leave. But you've got an idea of like amassing some equipment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so we've got time. Who has gym next? Has everyone had gym?
Well, it's a block system. Everyone's got different classes.
Right, that's
so
what I mean. I've
uh,
already had gym for the day, so what do you all?
So I'm going to say, like, you could probably use your time because you know how to sneak in and out. And
Yeah.
we'll do some, we might do some checks for that, but you could sneak in and out and try to get some supplies. I'm going to say that Ash probably has a computer lab or like a TA position where he can actually goof off a little bit on his laptop, maybe play.
Oh yeah, I already passed the college level computer
Yeah.
science, so I'm just slacking.
So-
I'd probably go and like log into a BBS and try to see if there's like any weird conspiracy
Yeah.
theories
That's
about
a-
like Rasta robots.
Is that
No, that's a great plan.
is that like Excel?
No. Have you ever heard of the Usenet?
Is that like Excel?
Yes, it's like Excel, but not stupid.
You're stupid.
Whatever it takes to get you through the day. Did you learn that on the back of your cigarettes?
Did you learn that from Daddy's computer?
No, I learned it from my computer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Must be nice. Be from a family with money to buy computers with.
This is getting very uncomfortable.
Now I'm getting mad, and I'm gonna stomp away to the computer lab before I hurt somebody with my robot.
We don't talk about my electronics. I'm going to the computer lab. See you later.
Can you not be a jerk to everyone, please?
I will try.
Thank you.
So Tristan, what do you think you would do during the last 2 blocks? It seems like they're someone's amassing equipment, someone's doing a little research. What do you think Tristan would do?
Well, truthfully, I don't really think there's much I could get done to prepare like these 2 are. So I guess I'll just wait out the school day as usual.
Willow, anything for you?
Yeah, actually, I think Willow would reach out and see who else, see if there's any other kids that live in that building and have seen anything similar to that weird creature. Because she's more of the people person.
Cool. So here is what I would like for Hunter to do. You're kind of amassing equipment and stuff.
So I have 2 whole blocks, right?
Yeah, so I mean, you've got like 3 hours.
Okay, so...
And you could probably like bum the keys from the van. So like you could make like supply runs to and from. So I'm going to make you do a sneak check. So sneak is to hide, sneak, and steal things. And what is going to happen is if you're successful, you're going to be able to get some supplies to the van. If you fail, you're going to get caught by like a janitor, a teacher, a student, a narc.
Okay.
So we're going to say it's normal difficulty because most students should be in class.
class.
No one's expecting you to be out here. So
Except for the vice
I have
principal.
1 success.
1 success is sufficient. So you're able to get some stuff. So what I will do is I'll let everyone come up with like a +1 item that they can have, like any +1 item that could be found in a gym class. So it could be a baseball bat, a hockey stick, a football. I don't care. Whatever you think your character might be able to utilize
I'm going to
effectively.
take a baseball bat.
Okay. Now,
Lawn darts.
Ash, you are on a Usenet, a BBS, and you are trying to find some information about, what's going on in this area. What I would like for you to do is a comprehend. So this is to find the right piece of information at a location or know it already from memory. So this is you searching local newspaper, BBS, any type of news feeds to try to get information about what's going on.
All right. Oh no, that's not going to do. So I'm going to take upset because I didn't find anything and re-roll because that's just not That's just unacceptable after the interaction that I just had with Hunter.
Oh, well,
I
yeah,
have a
Hunter
computer and I don't even know how to use it.
I'm just sitting there fuming, and that's why
That's
like
what
I
you're
like
thinking.
typing
You're
in my
making up these
login.
dialogues like in Waterboy, like
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
that was never
That's
actually
what you're,
said.
That's what you're thinking? Yeah.
No, I still came up empty.
Okay.
All the 5s in the world.
Now,
You are dreading
your
the
shame. Is there
reunion.
any way that can be implemented?
You know what?
to get a
Actually,
success?
you know what? I am currently trying to impress Willow, and that will take my shame.
Okay. So,
'Cause-
yeah. So by taking your shame, you
'cause I've
get
never
a
had
success.
girlfriend.
So you're going to be able to find the right piece of information. So here's what you're able to find. This is a bit of an information dump. First of all, you're trying to clear your mind after having some lack of success looking at local stuff because it is Princeton. Not a lot of people are using BBS.
Mm-hmm.
What you do find is that while you're kind of like looking at maybe patch notes and stuff for Medusa's Maze, which is like an MMO that a lot of people have been playing, and this is going to be like a pre-Ultima Online with graphics very similar to like Doom or Hexen.
Oh yeah, that's actually what disturbed me the most about the finger mutilation, is because you couldn't use your keyboard for like months.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I can't type
Months.
ASD. What the hell?
What is he, a lizard? They don't just like pop back.
Right.
And
No, I mean you retrain, but
what you found
take
is
you a
that
while.
there's actually been some major changes to the game Medusa's Mask that haven't been explained in patch notes. Let's see. Recently, a lot of the monsters have kind of disappeared from the labyrinth. Dark rooms and prison cells have been transformed into brightly lit swimming pools and gardens. The dirty walls have now received colorful paint jobs and artwork, and the background music has become quiet and soothing. You no longer find weapons in the maze, and there's a rumor going around on BBS that in the center of the maze, instead of the Medusa, kind of like the penultimate like boss of this game, there's actually a waterfall, and there's a subset of individuals that keep saying that those who find the waterfall can meet God and gain eternal life.
that's really mucking up my sword and sorcery adventure. Let me tell you. Now it sounds like New Age Happy Land.
Yeah. You may even be tempted to kind of
Maze.
log in. You may even be tempted to log in and see it for yourself, and sure enough, it's a very cheerful, peaceful. It's a completely different tone of game. You could see how some people would probably enjoy this type of game, but it's certainly a very big tonal shift from what you were previously playing.
Right. Oh my God, am I gonna have to re-level this character? Did they change the builds? I mean, my aggression build is useless in this new setting.
Can't draw aggro from anything. Butterflies don't care.
Right.
You start looking through the local paper, see if maybe you can find information about Dusty's assault. It appears that the Princeton Times, which is sort of the local 3 times a week paper that doesn't publish very frequently, has written it off as basically a drug dealer who was caught in the act, and out of desperation to try to escape the apartment had slashed at a child, and they are still looking for the individual. That's kind of that seems to be the official line that the police department are giving based on the circumstance.
That's some grown-up crap covering their behinds.
Yeah. So, but it did happen there. There appears to, if you look for Princeton Towers, some more information about it, you will find that there has been like a recent increase in crime. Now, that being said, it's always been known to be sort of a rough place in town, but just doing the math, like it seems like it's way more than usual at this particular point. Tristan's going about their school day, being a good student. Willow, you were interested in trying to figure out if there were other people that may have had issues. So what I'd like for you to do is make a contact roll. So that's going to be contact heart. And what that's going to do is for you to know and find the right person. So you're trying to find people that also live at Princeton Towers to see if they've seen or heard anything.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I got 1-6.
Cool. So you are going to find a sort of acquaintance of yours. Her name's Shirley. And Shirley is going to be able to tell you that there's been some sort of strange characters in the building, more strange than usual. There have been issues with some of the thefts of electronics in the building all over. And there's rumors of the top floor, like the 14th floor of this particular building, having just really foul odor. There's the rumor that someone's probably like dead up there, but nobody wants to go check because it's Princeton Towers.
Gotcha. What was that floor number again?
14th. It's the very top floor of this particular building.
Okay. Willow will thank her friend, and she'll probably more than likely take
the information of the electronics to Ash, because he's a lot more technologically savvy than what she is.
So the day ends, the final bell rings at about 3:20, and everyone pretty much convenes at the Willow's van in the parking lot. A lot of students are kind of rushing out, trying to beat traffic, so the parking lot generally clears pretty quickly. So everyone meets up at the van. Hunter's going to show off the assorted goodies that he's been able to acquire over the past 3 hours. Ash will relay what he has found on the BBS as well as the Princeton Times. Willow is going to be able to relay what she's heard, personal accounts from Princeton Towers, and that's where you are now. It's 3:20 on a Thursday afternoon. What would you like to do?
What was the item everyone took from the gym? I have a baseball bat.
I wrote down a football because
One of you has to take the jump rope. You never know when you need rope.
oh no,
They
never
just
mind. I
have
want the
jump
jump
rope.
rope.
Yeah, Willow, she
Oh,
probably
it's one of
sees.
those, like school jump ropes that are like wrapped in the plastic beads.
Yeah,
Those
but they're
suckers
like
hurt.
that super hard
It's like a
nylon
flail.
cord underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So did you only score one bat?
One bat, a hockey stick, a jump rope,
Then we'll go for the hockey stick.
and we'll
like a dodgeball or one of those like butt scooters that
we
like.
will say a butt scooter.
All right. No, I'll take the butt scooter and I'll shove it in my backpack and be like, okay,
Because
I
those
can
will
live
move
with
like
this.
heavy weights too. Now you have like
Yeah, like I don't know why I grabbed it, but I was like, I need something
No,
for
no,
someone else.
it's one of
It's
those
like-
compulsions that
Yeah.
like the one thing from gym class that like you wish you could play with as a grown up is one of those butt scooters.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I guess I'll take the jump rope. I'll see that and I'll be like, that's more useful.
okay.
Sweet.
So you can add that to your items list and just give it a +1 as the ability score on that. So here you are. Now Princeton Towers is just a short drive down Stafford Drive, and it's pretty much the tallest building in this area too. So everyone's familiar with it. It does have a sort of negative connotation to it. So I mean, it's kind of projecty.
I mean, I've been here before. It's not that bad.
It's entirely possible. I mean, and you probably have friends that have lived here, or a lot of people have been taken from foster care. So some of you are going to be familiar with it, and you're going to be familiar with the notoriety
Yeah.
that this building
Yeah.
has. It is a 14-floor building. So what your friend told you, Shirley, is true. You arrive at Princeton Towers. There's a parking lot in the back. There is a front entrance that's sort of street side, but there's also like a bigger back entrance too. And then as you go in, there's like a elevator that leads up. There's a couple of people hanging out in the lobby right now, reading a newspaper. It's very warm in this building. You get the impression that maybe a lot of the air conditioners are not functioning properly, and you probably feel that they are down in the lobby because the 78 degrees it is down here is probably cooler than what it is in their actual apartments.
Ew.
Yeah, it probably smells pretty bad too.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably get hit with maybe just a stale smoke, maybe a little bit of a cat urine smell, and then certainly with being overpowered currently by the body odor of these individuals.
Okay, do you guys want to go start looking at Dustin's place or go all the way up to the 14th floor? Because apparently there's a really, really bad odor up there.
So what is it that you wanted to do?
I said either we're going to go, I was asking the group if they wanted to either go check out Dustin's place first around there where he was attacked,
Okay,
or go up to the 14th floor.
cool. The stream's going to take a 2-minute break while we make some adjustments, and we will discuss our plan over that. Sound good?
All right, sounds good.
Thank you. So I'm going to highly recommend you guys just go ahead to the top floor.
To the top floor. Okay, yeah. Keep running into things.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's where plot is, but also we've got about 25 minutes, so
Oh,
I
okay.
probably need to get you guys to
That's fine.
the final showdown here.
Yeah, I completely checked out the conversation about the video game. That's just like in the back of the van, better than the entire conversation.
It's terrible. Video game has become more
My
terrible.
Willow's up front driving with the pro
Willow might like the version.
Yeah, oh, totally.
You're talking about, it's like, oh, this is a game? I'm interested in games now.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, where are all these butterflies?
I can show you here. You're
Martha
like,
Stewart's
pull up
Funhouse?
the while you're driving.
Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. Have you made it to the center yet?
I'm gonna argue that with your 1990s laptop, there's no way you would open it and use it.
No, this is
Welcome back. When last we left our heroes, we were determining what their next destination was going to be. So, Willow, where are we going to go?
Well, we got a general consensus. We are all going to the very top floor.
Okay. So, you hit the elevator button, and you're lucky enough that the elevator is already on the bottom floor. So the door immediately opens. You are greeted with a cacophony of Sharpie graffiti all over the place. You can tell that at one point, building administrator may have tried to stay on top of it, but they could barely let the paint dry before somebody had already went over it with Sharpie. So they decided to quit. You get into the elevator. The buttons, someone's already Sharpied over most of them, but you can still kind of tell what the numbers are, and they do go from 1 to 14.
Okay, we'll definitely hit the 14 button. And also while I'm in here, I'm definitely going to be reading some of the graffiti because it's art.
It's art in the sense that somebody drew it.
Yeah.
A lot of it is some very, the general, what's the worst humanity has to offer. So, racial slurs and for a good time call and this person's a hoe and,
okay.
All this stuff.
Drawings of dicks.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of going into the comments section of YouTube. You kind of regret it after a while and just sort of put your eyes down for a little while.
I don't want to see this ugliness today. Thank you.
It's a whole lot more negativity than you're willing to accept. And in this particular dose.
Well, this just sounds like a high school bathroom.
It pretty much is.
Okay.
Yeah, except they stopped painting over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like my high school bathroom.
You arrive at the 14th floor, and as the door opens, you are met with a horrendous odor. It's almost like you stuck your head in a dumpster and a sewer somehow simultaneously.
What an incredible smell you've discovered.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
I'm sorry, guys.
It's pretty atrocious.
I should have brought my air fresheners.
You look to see if you can find anything unusual on this floor, and you do see something at the very end of the hallway next to this particular door. You see a number of Princeton Times newspapers that have sort of piled themselves at the door.
Oh, well, that's odd.
You can tell that some of them, after a while, were thrown from a distance, so maybe they've bounced off the door. So there's kind of a nice pile, and then there's some where it looks like they've made contact with the door or been thrown short just because they didn't want to get that close to the actual door.
Ew.
Yeah.
They just stopped caring.
Pretty much.
Well, I guess our best bet would be to start there, guys.
All right.
I mean, I know it
have an
smells
idea.
terrible.
No, I have an idea.
What kind of information can I get with investigate?
So investigate's going to let you find hidden clues, understand clues, break puzzles. So yeah, if you want to investigate this particular scene, I'll let you.
All right, I'm going to be a little bit competitive about this.
Let's do it. I didn't get any successes.
I got 2. So first thing I'm going to do is
So you
go
get-
and pull a newspaper from the bottom of the stack to see how long it's been stacking.
Okay.
And then, but yeah, I've got 2.
Okay, so you're going to get 3 questions. And you get to take a +1 die to one roll when you use the information that I give you. So you get to ask 3 questions about this particular situation, and I have to tell the truth. So you are curious about the most recent, the oldest newspaper you can find.
Yeah,
there.
how long has this been stacking up? So get some story here.
So you are digging through the papers, you're comparing dates, and it looks like about 2.5 weeks that these have been stacking up. And the closer you get to this door, the worse it starts to smell.
Okay. Well, I guess, what other kind of questions here? I mean, are there any signs of any movement or passage back and forth? Anybody's come?
Yeah, it looks like someone's been stirring on this floor. You don't hear any noise to suggest that anyone's up or awake or anything like that up here, but you can see some motion. You can see where There's been some foot traffic. Maybe someone had kicked one of the papers over.
Well, I guess, it's like a hallway with a pile of newspaper and debris in it, so I'm not sure, question-wise, how much I can actually get out of this. So, if there's something that...
Is there anything other than, like, the newspaper,
Yeah.
like weird fluids, weird
something
puddles,
non-obvious or something
broken
that
lights,
might be an
scratch
actual
marks,
clue.
like anything other than just like old-ass newspapers and a gross smell?
Yeah, we'll say that some of the doors, some of the other neighboring doors, look as though almost like the aftermath of a like a raid, like somebody like kicked the door in or something.
Oh,
so
wow.
like the frame had been, and it's on a lot of doors, but it should be noted that the person's door with the newspapers is not one of them.
Well, see, that makes it suspicious.
Yeah, it does.
As you are collecting this information, and everyone's kind of closer to like this door with the newspapers. One of the doors closer to the elevator busts open, and this 7-foot tall figure, it's made out of mechanical objects, like computer cases, cords, wires. You feel like the frame of it might be like part of a old refrigerator. It's kind of like the
cool.
body. The
I hope
head
it tries to kill us.
has these cords and stuff coming out of the head, like Dusty had described, though what Dusty didn't describe is they appear to be animated, and they kind of move, not like hair that sort of like flows freely from the head, but actually, is kind of swirling on the top of the scalp. If you didn't know
it's
any
Johnny
better,
Rasta 5.
if you didn't know better, it looks very similar to some of the box art of the Medusa from Medusa's Maze.
Oh, my God.
So we are going to call this an extended trouble, and what's going to happen is that everybody's going to get an opportunity to make a check to try to defeat this threat. And we're just going to call this a normal difficulty in this particular case, which means because there are 4 people at the table, we're going to have to get 12 successes to be able to completely take out this thing. So there is a creature that looks like this Medusa, made out of scrap parts and electronic components, that is now blocking your only exit out of this building. How do you handle it?
Okay.
And it's kind of, I know I looked at you, but it's kind of for like
That's fine.
everybody.
Well,
So-
if
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, if we can get close to it, I can hack it. And my robot is made of hodgepodge parts, and if I can like plug it into this thing, I can use it to control it probably. If this thing
Okay.
is like a robot computer thing.
So do
I
you
have
want,
a jump rope, so maybe we could tie it up.
okay. So for Ash, do you want to go at this like it's a machine, a piece of software, an electronic device, a technical item? Like
See, I
what?
think there's software involved because it reminds me of the video game.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
I'll take that. So you'll probably want to make a program. Will be
Okay.
the check that you're going to make.
Yeah, and basically I would use the robot as kind of like my pet, my little robot, as like the interface between it and my computer to do the
Okay.
programming.
Gotcha. Now, Willow, you were suggesting that
But
you wanted to try to.
I would have to get to it safely.
Willow, you were suggesting you're going to try to use the jump rope as a kind of like a entangling.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you want to do that? Are you trying to get over there really fast to do it? Are you going to use brute force? Are you going to try to sneak over to do that?
I'm gonna try to sneak, because Willow's not strong.
Okay.
She knows what her capabilities are, and she thinks that she can get it by surprise and do it that way. She'd have a better chance.
Okay. So you're going to try to. So you're going to roll sneak to try to sneak over there, and like while it's being distracted by somebody else, get this rope to entangle it. Okay. Hunter.
I'm gonna roll up and smash this thing with a baseball bat, square in its squiggle face.
Okay. So that sounds like force to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Tristan, what type of
All right, so I am thinking that like use force to like kind of like distract it with like the hockey stick, like you're doing with the bat, just kind of like
Harass
bash it. But I was wondering if I could also invoke my shame here, where because I lost my father, I don't want to lose anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So where I fear that the few people that I do care about will leave.
Okay.
Could this possibly be a case where I can
Absolutely, and we'll get to that once we make your rolls too. So who would like to make their rolls first? Again, you guys are shooting for 12 successes.
I can go first.
Okay. So Hunter, you're going to go right at it with the baseball bat.
Yes, I
Hard
am.
swinging. Okay. So let's make your see that roll.
Okay, so I got one success, but
Alright.
what I'll do
You can.
is I'm upset because this place stinks and there's like it stinks.
Yeah, it does. It's very
So
horrendous
I'm
odor in
gonna
here.
re-roll the rest of these failures. Which gives me one more.
okay.
And can I take another condition?
No, you can only do that once.
Okay,
Now,
so I'm upset.
Use your shame.
But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my shame. I'm in like a terrible location, trying to like figure out what happened to my friend that missed his, like got his fingers cut off, and there's like this threatening creature in front of me, and it's just evoking like all this like trauma and anger from being physically and emotionally abused by my parents.
Okay.
You're gonna do baseball therapy.
Right, and I'm about to baseball therapy that out.
Okay. Yeah. So that'll bring you up to 3 successes. Who would like to go next? So we've got Hunter that's actually physically like wailing on this particular thing. That makes for a good distraction for everybody else.
I'll go next to help Hunter out.
Okay.
Give.
So you go in with the pole arm.
Yeah. Go,
Okay.
Okay, so I didn't get any successes, but I'll take the scared condition.
Okay.
Reroll.
So scared that this thing is blocking your path out of here.
Yeah. There's 1 success.
Okay.
And then taking off my shame.
Okay. So that brings you up to 2.
Yep.
All right. So that's 5 successes total. So Willow, I think it makes the most sense for you to kind of go at this next.
Yep. I didn't get any successes.
So you can mark a condition to re-roll all those dice.
I'll do upset, because I really want, this to be safe for Ash to go in there and to program it.
Are you using like the jump rope or your
Yeah, I'm
your
using the
item?
jump
Okay, because
rope.
that'll give you a +1 die.
Yeah. So you'll get to add an additional die for the.
Oh.
So go ahead and roll that one separate just to see if that would have been a success. Okay.
No.
Now you can re-roll all those as part of your marking the condition.
Okay, yeah, because I really want, like, this thing just not to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got a success.
Got
okay.
1.
Now,
My shame doesn't tie into this, really.
okay. So what is your shame, if you don't mind me asking?
People look down on me because where I'm a hippie.
Well-
They judge me harshly. Like, they probably think, like, I'm in like, I do a bunch of hard drugs and stuff like that.
Well, if you fear that people are looking down on you and you're not capable of anything, but here you are trying to save you and your friends, I think that's a pretty acceptable way to kind of channel that in. So yeah, I'll give you the success for your shame. So it's not even a reroll. You just get a bonus success. That brings you to 2. That is 7 total.
We need 12.
Yes.
Damn, no
You're
pressure.
rolling. You're slinging a lot of dice.
All
there, I
right,
think.
so these guys are, all distracting, kind of like cleared out this path. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna like while this is going on, the backpack comes off and it just drops to the ground with a thud. We're gonna pull out the butt scooter.
Okay.
We're gonna take and we're gonna set the robot on it with like this interface, like this R2D2 interface on it.
Okay.
And we're gonna shove an Ethernet cable in the back of it, kick it down the hallway.
Yes.
And plug my laptop in and boot, Norton Utilities as it goes scrolling into this thing.
So you
Okay.
infected it with a virus.
Yes.
All right. Let's see what happens.
I will use
While doing the
everything
butt
on my
scooting
sheet.
boogie.
Yeah. Get all the warriors right now.
All right, so this is going to be program, you said?
Yeah, we'll call this program because you're going at it from a software.
So 3 program, 4 mind, 2 for the robot.
Program should be part of tech.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. So that's 5 tech.
Here.
So 2 for the robot,
think he's got it.
Hand me a butt scooter die.
We need that butt scooter.
I got one job.
You can do it.
What the hell?
Oh
How?
man, that's.
I'm gonna mark out the 5 Yahtzee on my board.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I'm gonna if like okay, so like this is kind of coming down, and the butt scooter like hits one of the newspapers and like jumps out of the way, and I go pushing at it, risking my life just to make sure it gets there. So
Okay.
I'm gonna take injured, honestly.
All right. So you may twist an ankle or something trying to get over to it.
Yeah, and just like push it. Come on.
So
That's 3. That's good, but that's
Okay.
not enough.
Well, we're getting there.
That takes us
Now-
to 10.
Now, have you used your shame?
I have.
Okay. So you got 3. All right. So here is what happens. We are going to. You got more than half, which means you're going to kind of succeed at a cost. So Willow and Tristan had the fewest successes. So I need both of you to mark one condition, and you can decide what that is. And that's you kind of pushing yourself to the point where you actually get the successes necessary for this to happen. So.
I'll say I'm injured.
Yeah, I'm going with injured as
Okay.
well.
So you are trying your best with this hockey stick. It kind of like swipes at you with an arm. You're trying to get this the jump rope cinched up, and you kind of catch a knee to like the nose.
A fridge
all-
knee.
Yeah. All the while, Ash is able to interface with this creature, and it's not very difficult at all to kind of
It's like I already have the software in my computer.
Yeah, to program into this and shut this machine down, and it kind of clatters to the floor into pieces. You you decide to go into the room. There you find a emaciated man who's got like these VR goggles on, who looks like he hasn't eaten in weeks. He's currently playing Medusa's maze right now.
Oh my god.
And as you look through sort of like the display screen of like what you can see through this
Right.
VR, his avatar is this very idyllic, almost angelic individual who's floating off the ground, who emits this light off of him, and certainly playing like this very positive like individual. But he's been in here for a while.
Is this the guy that replaced the Medusa in the patch?
I mean, it could be. But shouldn't we get him out of that VR set? He looks terrible.
I mean, is he still alive?
He's still alive.
I'm kind of like in poke him with a stick moment.
Yeah, he's
like,
still alive. I mean, he's breathing, but like he's emaciated, like the very loose skin.
What would happen
This-
if we just
yeah,
took
this-
the VR off of him?
This might be dangerous.
You get the
might
impression
be.
it'd probably be fine. I mean, it's just a regular kind of like
Okay.
Oh, okay.
VR,
It's not nerve gear.
like
Yeah. This isn't a say
Okay, well, I guess we could just unplug him. I want his
Okay.
stuff.
You unplug his
Yeah.
VR, the game, everything. It turns off. He kind of like looks at the world as if through like new eyes, like he's been kind of in a trance for a while. It's like who what happened to the game?
We unplugged you.
Why?
You don't need to be playing it anymore. You
It's
smell-
better than this.
You look terrible. There's nothing better than the way you look right
You're
now.
gonna die. You're starving.
Yeah, I'm going to die. At least I can go out on my own terms in the game.
I mean, monsters from the game exist in the real world now for some reason, so you don't have to play anymore.
Are
It's
you?
not-
I saw your avatar. Are you the guy that's like making everything happy in there?
Yeah.
Where's the Medusa?
I
haven't beat it
killed
yet.
I killed the Medusa in the game. It's gone.
So wait, is the changes happening in the game because you killed Medusa?
No, the changes I made were because I programmed them in. I've defeated death in that game. I can live forever there. I can't here. There's no cure for HIV. Like, I'm going to die here. I'm not going to die in the game.
You don't know how servers work.
I had it figured out.
That's
Did you know what this is? And let's drag the head of that machine into the room.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of machinery to me.
You said earlier it looks like something from the game, does it?
Yeah. I mean, it certainly looks like the box art of the Medusa.
It's like, no, I played the game. This is the Medusa. You kicked it out to the real world.
Did that happen when I... And he starts to feel very confused about the situation, and now is sort of understanding the gravity of what's happened.
Our friend at school, this thing took half his fingers.
Oh, God. I did this.
Maybe not on purpose.
Maybe by accident, but as a cause of you defeating Medusa and then changing the game, this thing was released into our world.
He begins to have a nervous break as a result and just starts to weep. Not that he has much fluid in his body to be able to actually generate much tears, but he begins to weep. So
I'll get real uncomfortable and just step out into the hallway.
Yeah. So essentially this is kind of where the scene sort of comes to, like, you know, the ambulance kind of bringing him. Essentially what has happened is this individual, once he'd gotten like a HIV positive diagnosis, his life like turned to crap. And when he got in this game, he basically created an idealized avatar for himself and basically placed like his diagnosis upon this Medusa, and upon killing it, he had thought that he had
Attention, ladies and
death.
gentlemen, boys and girls. In about 10 minutes, Superpower Dogs will be showing in the Caperton Planetarium and Theater. Please come to the box office and get your tickets.
Well, yeah. So that being said, you have solved the mystery.
Sweet.
You have
Nice.
saved this individual, as well as the individuals in this tower who are being plagued by this monster. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Things from the Flood. Thank you very much for tuning in for this particular playthrough. I'll be running Things from the Flood a few more times this weekend at Charcon. If you'd like to come down to Charleston, we've got a game going on at 6 p.m. tonight, as well as noon tomorrow on Sunday. If you're enjoying this game, the players, you can't get out to Charcon, you'd like to listen to a little bit more, you can find us on the Maximum PewPew podcast on your favorite podcast syndicator, Facebook, Twitter. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, and next up will be some additional Charcon content, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful day.